So you're trying to crush that IELTS exam, right? Aiming for that top band score? Of course you are. Well, listen up, because there's one specific grammar trick that can seriously boost your score. Today, we're going to unlock the secrets to these super powerful sentences.
So here's the big question, isn't it? How do you actually show the examiner what you're capable of, grammatically speaking? I mean, you've got all these great ideas in your head, but getting them on paper in a way that just screams high score can be tough. It's all about showing that range, that complexity in your sentences, and that's exactly what we're going to tackle.
And you know what? The answer is probably a lot simpler than you think. It really just comes down to mastering just three key sentence structures. That's it.
And we're not just talking about any old complex sentences here. No, we're talking about these powerful sentence types that examiners are literally trained to look for. These are conditional sentences. And the reason they're so important is that they show you can handle complex ideas, cause and effect, thinking about what-if scenarios, all that high-level stuff. Honestly, using them correctly, it's like a secret handshake with the examiner. It signals that you are a band 7, 8, or even 9 candidate.
All right, let's jump into our first one. Type 1, the real future. And it's called that for a reason, because this one is all about talking about likely outcomes, things that could really happen.
Okay, so when do you actually use this? Well, you pull out the Type 1 conditional anytime you're talking about a real, possible situation in the future. Think about it. It's perfect for your essays when you're discussing the effects of, say, a new government policy or a social trend. It's your go-to for cause and effect.
And the best part, the grammar behind it is actually super straightforward. So in your if part of the sentence, the condition, you just use the simple present tense. Then, in the main part, the result, you use will plus the basic verb. It's basically, if this happens, then that will happen. Easy, right? But so powerful. Okay, let's look at a real IELTS example. If governments invest more in public transport, traffic congestion will decrease in major cities. See how that works perfectly? If governments invest, that's our simple present. And the result? Traffic congestion will decrease. Boom. That is a classic, high-quality sentence you could use in an essay about city life or the environment. All right, you've got Type 1 down. Time to level up. Let's talk about Type 2, the unreal present. Now, this is where things get really interesting, because we're moving into the world of hypothetical situations.
So, what's the big difference here? With Type 2, you're talking about stuff that's imaginary, hypothetical, something that's not true right now or is probably not going to happen. This is your secret weapon for exploring those what-if questions. It shows the examiner you can think critically and consider different possibilities.
Now, the grammar takes a little twist here, so pay attention. The if part of the sentence now uses the simple past tense. That little change is the key. It's like a signal flag that tells your reader, hey, we're in imaginary land now. And then for the result, you switch from will to would plus the verb.
Here's a perfect example for an education essay. If the curriculum included more practical skills, students would be better prepared for the workforce. See that? We say included, simple past, because, well, the current curriculum doesn't. We're imagining a different reality. And the imaginary result? They would be better prepared. This is exactly the kind of sentence that shows you can debate different ideas.
Okay, on to the final boss. Type 3, the imagined past. This one's the most complex, but it's also incredibly powerful. It's all about looking back and reflecting on what could have been different.
So the key thing to get about Type 3 is that it's all about the past. Completely. You're talking about a situation in the past that didn't happen, and you're imagining what the result would have been also in the past. It's the language of regret, of reflection, of looking back and thinking, what if?
Okay, deep breath. The formula here looks a bit scary, I know, but it's totally logical once you see it. For the if clause, the thing that didn't happen in the past, you use the past perfect. That's had plus the past participle. For the result, you use would have plus the past participle. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it follows a clear pattern. And here is an absolutely beautiful Band 9 level sentence. If society had valued online education sooner, schools would have been better equipped, right? Had valued, that's our past perfect condition. The reality is they didn't. The imagined past result, they would have been better equipped. Man, a sentence like that just shows an incredible command of English grammar.
Okay, so we've covered the theory. We know the 3 types. But now what? How do we actually turn this knowledge into points on the test? Let's put it all together into a real high-band writing plan. First things first, let's clear up the most common point of confusion, the difference between Type 2 and Type 3. A lot of people mix these up. Just look at this side by side. Type 2 is for imagining a different present or future. Type 3 is only for imagining a different past. It's all about the time frame. Get this right and you're way ahead of the game.
So let's just hammer this home one more time. Burn it into your brain. Type 1, real future. Type 2, unreal present. Type 3, imagined past. That's it. That's your cheat sheet right there.
All right, here's your homework, your action plan. Step 1. Go find some model essays and become a detective. Hunt for these conditional sentences. Step 2. Pick a common topic, say technology, and try to write one sentence of each type. Just one. And finally, Step 3. In your next practice test, make it your mission to use at least one of these correctly. That's how you build the skill.
Look, at the end of the day, mastering these isn't just about grammar rules. It's about learning to express complex thoughts, to analyze, to speculate, to reflect. That's what gets you the high score. So, my question for you is, which one are you going to focus on and absolutely nail in your next essay?